If Madrid is tradition, then Barcelona is modernism. One is the seat of the Spanish government, the headquarters of the Bank of Spain, and the home of the Instituto Cervantes. The other is the breakaway industrial city that hadn't even thought about tourism until the 1992 Olympics brought it to global attention. But this isn't a case of one city being better than the other. It's not that black and white. The question is, which city suits you? Is it Madrid or is it Barcelona? Barcelona is synonymous with the modernist style of Antoni Gaudi. His ambition was to raise the monument to the glory of God that is La Sagrada Família. Work started here in 1882, and the innovative, unprecedented methods Gaudi devised to test the architectural integrity of the basilica have led some to suggest he had divine assistance. Now, the devout genius who became known as God's architect is in what the Archdiocese of Barcelona calls the final process towards beatification. Viva Sant Antoni! And much as Barcelona looks forward, Madrid looks backwards. This is a city that truly cherishes its past, as exemplified by the tiendas centenarios, or 100-year-old shops. There are more than 175 of them protected by the city, and most of them are a lot more than 100 years old. This is the oldest of all, Sabina de Botín. It's the oldest restaurant on the planet. In 1725, the year this extraordinary restaurant opened, George I was on the throne of England. Catherine I became Empress of Russia. An Italian charmer, Giacomo Casanova, was born. They're all gone, but Sabrina de Botín is still here and still serving exactly the same menu. History hangs like smoke here. Goya worked in that wood-fired oven, and Hemingway, predictably, was a frequent visitor. We lunched upstairs at Botin's, he wrote, in The Sun Also Rises. It's one of the best restaurants in the world. We had roast suckling pig and Rioja Alta. Madrid is also art. This is El Prado. The name simply means the meadow because it was a patch of open ground where rich and poor, the law-abiding and the degenerate, those buying and those selling would congregate. But in 1819, as an act of urban regeneration, they opened the museum here, partly to unite the Spanish people at a time of great upheaval, but also to serve as a showcase for the art collections of Spain and its empire. Did it work? Well, not immediately, because 2 years after El Prado opened, Spain went through the Second Bourgeois Revolution, and a lot more upheaval after that. But the Prado has come through it and survived as one of the greatest museums of art on the planet. Around the back of El Prado, you'll find the Parque del Buen Retiro, a former royal estate that was handed over to the people following the overthrow of the monarchy in 1868. It's a space too good to be wasted on the aristocracy. These days, it's rose gardens, Grand Paseo de Argentina, and this monumental boating lake are shared by locals and tourists, lovers and loners, and children of all ages. This is Nova Marbella Beach in the trendy northern suburb of Poblenou. It's 6 stops on the metro and an entire world away from La Barceloneta. If you want to know how trendy Pobla Nou is, they have a monthly market here called Palo Alto. It's like a collection of DJs and food trucks and vintage stores and stuff like that. It's so popular that that market is now a ticket-only event. But coming to Barcelona to eat from a food truck is like going to Bordeaux for the beer. The Catalan capital is one of the foodiest cities on earth, with a passion for local produce and innovation. This is Disfrutar, hidden away in the Esquerra de Chample district, far away from all the posh restaurants in town. I first stayed here in 2014. That was the year it opened. It was good. I came back here in 2017. It was fabulous. And now, inevitably, it has 3 Michelin stars. It's the best restaurant in Barcelona and arguably the best in Spain.
And I think that it's not strange that Barcelona, no, it's a focus of gastronomy because we have the food in our culture. And when you have an open mind, you have a mix of cultures. At the end, you have information and you have knowledge, and after you can grow. The logical is that the best fresh product is in your home, not in another country, because it's not so fresh.
It's sustainable, what you're doing.
We try to do. Yeah, of course.
Conde Duque, Calle Ponzano, Calle Cavabanca. I can think of at least a dozen places for a decent night out in Madrid. But tonight we're going to start in Lavapiés at what I'm told is the most exciting bar in Madrid at the moment. On the Calle Argumosa in the distinctly untouristy area of Lavapiés, you'll find La Cannibal, which might be the most exciting, game-changing bar in Madrid right now. Javier Blascat is changing Madrid's tapas scene. He has 16 small batch natural wines on tap made exclusively for La Cannibal, 600 more in bottles and 9 homebrewed beers. Plus an organic menu focused on small local producers that's as sustainable as it is delicious. Flamenco, you might argue, is Spain's Song of the South, an art form owned by the Gitanos of Andalusia. So why watch flamenco in Madrid? Here is where the big clubs are, the paying crowds and the accidental tourists who become the aficionados. Madrid's nightlife runs from dusk till dawn, and flamenco is as big a part of it as it is in Seville or Jerez. Dusk till dawn isn't a thing in Barcelona. Pre-1992, it was said that you got up early here because there was so much to do and went to bed early because there was nothing to do. But the city's transformation into one of the world's most popular tourism destinations has forced the nightlife here to evolve fast. Tucked away at the top of La Rambla, Boadas is the oldest cocktail bar in Barcelona and without doubt the best in the city centre. It opened in 1933 when Miguel Boadas returned from a stint in Havana. Nothing here has changed since, and whatever barman Federico recommends is what you should be drinking. A mile north in Eixample, Simon Caporale and Marc Alvarez have opened Sips, currently and officially the best cocktail bar on earth. And if you're invited to pass through the tunnel at the back of the bar, you'll emerge somewhere in the future.
Chris, we are in Sips Esencia. Well, Esencia in Spanish means essence. Essentia, it's all about to show the essence of what a drinking experience can be in 2024.
You can't help but notice that in the barrios of Eixample, El Born, Raval and Barri Gotica, this is a nighttime economy created for visitors. And unlike Madrid, closing time here is at 2:30 a.m. and often much earlier during the week. So go to bed early and get up early. There's a lot to do during the day. You're going to need somewhere to stay. Hotel Serras, which lies between the Barri Gotica and Port Vell overlooking the ocean, is probably the best luxury boutique hotel in Barcelona. In 1897, it was home for a short while to a young Pablo Picasso who had a garret up on the roofs. And if it's good enough for Picasso, it's good enough for you. Need somewhere cheaper? On a leafy street just north of the Parc de Ciutadella, We Boutique has the location, the character and the charm for a romantic yet reasonably priced break. Get a room with a balcony. The luxury hotel of choice in the capital is the Palacio de Atocha, halfway between the Plaza Mayor and the Reina Sofia. Set in a grand and somewhat eccentric 19th century palace, it has the biggest rooms in Madrid. Your Madrid bargain is Generator on Gran Via. It's the budget hostel chain that until recently only offered dormitory accommodation to the backpacking crowd. But the cost of living crisis has forced a welcome policy change from Generator. It now offers double and family rooms at low prices. There's a roof terrace, tapas restaurant and a buzzy bar. Still can't decide which you prefer? Well, let's finish with a secret spot in each city that reflects the major attractions in their rival, but also says a lot about their home. Hidden away in the once grungy and now rather lovely Barrio Malesana is the Church of San Antonio de los Alemanes. It has none of the grandeur of Gaudi's Sagrada Família, but when you go inside, you get this. So devout, so impassioned, and so emblematic of the Catholic faith that once defined Spain. That's why they call it the Sistine Chapel of Madrid. My secret spot in Barcelona is the National Museum of Catalan Art on Montjuic Hill. It cannot compete with the treasure houses of Madrid, but the €2 entry ticket grants you access to the roof terrace. From here, you can see the entire city laid out like a map. The Med on the right, the Sagrada Família in the middle, and the mountain of Tibidabo in the distance. And what does it say about Barcelona? Well, it faces north, away from Spain, and towards Europe. So on the one hand, we have a city of history and tradition, a city that is unmistakably Spanish and yet passionately multicultural, with great nightlife, fab tapas, and extraordinary art. On the other, an outward-looking city of progress with a laid-back beach scene, fabulous cuisine, and in La Sagrada Família, a church built by a soon-to-be saint that's the most beautiful building on earth.